Hello people and welcome to Footy JUDGEMO, your daily update regarding the news, transfer news in the Premier League. Of course, lots of news to talk about. Branthwaite bid, absolutely. I think it's a disrespectful bid by Manchester United. Michael Olise having doubts over joining Chelsea. Is that true or not? And also, Manchester United are exploring the signing of Matias de Ligt from Bayern Munich, of course, the Dutch defender that was at Ajax, Juventus before, and also last but not least, Onana from Everton. Arsenal inquire about Onana. Is he the right one for the midfield, of course, of Arsenal? This is what we're talking about. This is your daily transfer. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I know everyone is busy with the Euros, of course, but hit the like button and enjoy this video with your daily update, of course. But first, let's run the intro. Welcome back, people. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe. Listen, the first piece of news that I have today for you is what happened. David Ornstein actually tweeted that Manchester United have submitted an opening offer worth of £35 million for the English left-footed defender of Everton that had a fantastic and a brilliant season under Sean Dyche. Jared Branthwaite, of course, a quick defender. Manchester United see him as a big piece of the rebuild or the restart under Erik ten Hag. The problem is, Everton said they want at least £70 million. So Man United are testing the water here. Listen, for this signing, I think he's someone that can sub for Lisandro Martinez. Maybe he can start. He can be the future of Man United. A very quick defender, of course. Hasn't been tested though in a position-based team. He played under Sean Dyche. We know how it is different when you play for someone like Everton and Sean Dyche, or you're defending the average about 40-something percent of ball position over the season. So he hasn't been tested in the big spaces defending one-on-one. But every time you watch the guy look absolutely phenomenal. But this bid, to be honest, what are Man United thinking? I think this is a disrespectful bid from Manchester United. Maybe they are testing Everton to see what Everton are going to come back. You know, the haggling process. It looked to be honest, like it looked strange when Everton are like saying in the media publicly that this guy, we are actually valuing him at £70 million and Manchester United offer 35 million. We know that Manchester United reportedly actually agreed the personal terms with the player, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, it can mean that the player agreed to join Manchester United. They agreed, of course, the salary, the length of the contract, and all this stuff. But at the end, you have to agree with Everton, because Everton, they hold all the cards here. The kid is young. He can stay another season or something. Everton are going to stay in the Premier League, of course, so he can keep it one season again under Sean Dyche in the Premier League. Prove to be more expensive. So Man United need to act a little bit quicker and faster, because maybe Everton are not going to sell to them in this window. I know it's very early in the window. I know we're just in the beginning. The window just opened, so we are seeing a little bit of small movements on the club. A lot of people are busy with the Euros as well, so probably the scouts are there. But Branthwaite, he been omitted from the English national team. A lot of people disagreed with the Southgate notion of him. They wanted him there. They said he adds a value to the national team, but you know, Gareth Southgate's completely different Guy, different opinions than everyone else. Everyone disagrees with Southgate, but this guy, he can add to the Manchester United squad. If they can finish this in the range of 50 million, which is, I think it can end up be 50 million pounds, I think it's a great deal, fantastic deal, of course, for the Man United team. That the new structure under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they're gonna give Erik ten Hag the nod to stay at the team, which we spoke about this. But this is the first piece of the news. The second piece of the news, which is something I wanted to mention briefly, is this: that Ineos will listen to offers for most of the Manchester United squad this summer, with the only exceptions being Andre Onana, who they just purchased from Inter Milan last window, Lisandro Martinez, Diego Dallo, who had a fantastic season, player of the year for Man United, and the youngsters Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and Kobe Mainoo, of course, who is with the England squad in Germany. That means that Man United are open for anyone to be sold. Anyone can be sold, including Bruno Fernandes, including Marcus Rashford. Anyone can be sold from this team for the right offer, of course, which is, it tells me that they are in for a complete rebuild. The other piece of news regarding Manchester United is that Manchester United reportedly are starting to get a discussion around, should we move for Matias de Ligt, who is valued around 42 million pounds. As you said, someone who has been, you think that Matias de Ligt has been playing for 20 years. Matias de Ligt played at Ajax, of course, and then played in that team that reached the semi-final, went to Juventus, didn't work out, went to Bayern Munich. And the fun part about Matias de Ligt is that he got benched by Eric Dyer when Thomas Tuchel was there. We watched him in the Bundesliga. To be honest with you, Matias de Ligt has all the attributes to be a top defender. Why didn't he become a top defender? I don't know. It looks like his reading of the game is not great. He relies so much on the athleticism, his strength and everything that he has, the physical attributes. But his reading of the game is not great. At Juventus, a lot of people didn't like him, for somehow Juventus got big bucks for him, selling him to Bayern Munich. It looks like his value is going down by the day. When you get benched by Eric Dyer and Upamecano, listen, he's the fourth choice centre back, believe it or not, at Bayern Munich, behind Eric Dyer, Upamecano, and Kim Min-jae, that joined from Napoli last season. To me, Matias de Ligt, is he worth the money? Matias de Ligt has the potential to be a great and a top defender, in my opinion. But will Man United have the money for this? If they sell Lindelof, if they sell Aaron Wan-Bissaka, they sell Casemiro, maybe the Malacia, who we don't know if he exists or not. But Man United need, and at least in my opinion, they have Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez, and Johnny Evans. It looks like Lindelof is up for sale. They need two defenders. If they can get Matthijs de Ligt and they can get Branthwaite from Everton, I think this would be a very good signing for them in the back line, which needs a revamp, because we know that Lisandro Martinez is the pillar of that back line. Of course, Harry Maguire wants to play, wants to prove himself. But again, Man United are very open to selling Harry Maguire for the right price, that is another story. But Matthijs de Ligt, we'll see how this develops. We'll see how this news develops. This is something that I am waiting to see. Is he going to be sold to a Premier League club? Is it time for Matthijs de Ligt to go to the most physical league in the world, the Premier League, and prove himself? Another piece of news that was there this morning, which is it hit me again, is that Amadou Onana from Everton, apparently Arsenal have inquired about the availability for Everton midfielder Amadou Onana. The report hasn't said if actually Amadou Onana is for sale. But the question that I want to ask, is actually Amadou Onana the right signing for Arsenal? Another player, 21 years old, Belgium, looks so good. However, again, plays in a defensive team, very physical. Can he be the guy that takes it to the next level in an Arsenal team? Should Arsenal move for someone like Amadou Onana instead of going for the young from Barcelona? Of course, Douglas Luiz is someone that is now, I think he agreed with Juventus. Also, there is Bruno Guimaraes, who is linked to Manchester City with a release clause of 100 million. Should they just go for a half price Amadou Onana? Because I think he's going to cost about 50 or 60 million. I'm actually not sure, but the report didn't say if Amadou Onana, what is the price for Amadou Onana. I actually think, to be honest with you, Amadou Onana would be a good addition. But if Thomas Partey leave, would you put your chance of winning the league in the hands of someone like Amadou Onana, who played for Everton, a defensive team? We have seen moves like this fail before. To me, I think it's going to be more of an expensive signing. Of course, on Everton aren't going to sell Amadou Onana for cheap. They're going to demand a 50, 60, 70 million for their Belgian youngster, for the star, of course, of that midfield. Of course, he's the star of that midfield. He's the one that is, all the eyes are on him in that midfield with Gana Gueye and Abdoulaye Doucouré. It's Amadou Onana is the guy, in my opinion. Is he the right signing for Arsenal? It will be a good signing, but there are better. There are better players outside in the market. Of course, one of the stories that have emerged today is the story of the doubts that the Guardian reported that Michael Olise is, there is a doubt that he would move to Chelsea if there are clubs like Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Newcastle, Man United and City. He wants to evaluate his offers. I'm not sure how credible this is, to be honest. There are other people that said that, but he already agreed personal terms. And my response to that is that you can agree personal terms. Chelsea can go to Michael Olise and say, this is the contract. What are your demands? He say, I want this amount of money in this win. I want this amount of money and this length of the contract. They say, okay, we're going to bid that. We're going to put that on the table. That is personal terms agreed. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that he is favoring Chelsea. Of course, there's a lot of people that talk about his Coppen boy. He's someone who would join a London club like Chelsea. But will Michael Olise favor them over Bayern Munich? Will Michael Olise favor them over a Man City? There is the Man United talk, but there is a massive thing here that people need to talk about, and nobody talks about this, is that Michael Olise's £60 million release clause at Crystal Palace can only be triggered by a club that is qualified for the Champions League. Manchester United haven't qualified for the Champions League. Chelsea don't play in the Champions League. That means it has to be a bidding war at this point. If Arsenal comes in, if Bayern Munich comes in, if Man City come in for him, they can trigger that 60 million. Otherwise, Crystal Palace can demand more. So there are two aspects here. How much will Chelsea pay? I think actually Chelsea will pay up for this. There is the rumor that Madueke, Newcastle are interested in him, which is, it circled around earlier today or yesterday if you're watching this in the next day. But maybe they would sacrifice a Madueke for Olise, which makes sense to me. If Madueke is sold for 35-40 million, they add another 30 million, they pay 70 million. I think it's worth it. Michael Olise is more established than Madueke, has over 150 games in a top team. In the first team, he has over 90 games for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. So I think it is worth it. I think Michael Olise is worth every penny that any team is going to pay for him. Would he join Chelsea though? If there is a team like Arsenal can come in for him, there is the only caveat is that would he sit on the bench for Bukayo Saka? That is something that I think is questionable. Would he join Man United? I don't think so. To be honest with you, I actually don't think he would choose Man United over Chelsea. I would think, logically speaking, that would be my opinion, he would join Chelsea over Manchester United. But what if Manchester City come sniffing around him? Manchester City have Savio, they have Jack Grealish, they have Bernardo Silva staying. I think unless they sell Bernardo Silva and Matthias Nunes, they can go around Michael Olise. So for me, the only options would be left for him is Chelsea and Bayern Munich. I think it will be Chelsea at the end, but they will have to pay more than 60 million, which is what the report is saying. But these are the news for today. I want to thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video if you're still watching this and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure to turn on that notification bell, of course, to know when we go live, when we release a new video. And I want to thank everyone that supports my channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you, people.